My sketching spot this week has been at the Fort Ransom State Park near Fort Ransom, North Dakota in the Sheyenne River Valley. So today I'm going to go sketching on the Valley View Trail. Looking like it's definitely going to rain, but I think if the weather report is accurate, I should have about 2 hours before the rain starts. So hopefully I can get there, get a sketch going, and then finish it back at the cabin. We're supposed to have rain all day today, unfortunately. I'm going right up here. Check that out. Pretty soon we'll see the SUNY farm, and that's where I'm going to paint today. Here's where I'm going, to this bench and this view. I've been working in watercolor and gouache this week. Today I decided to stick to just watercolor, and I may go into this painting with some water pens after I get the basics done in watercolor. I'm trying to stay a little bit looser today and not overwork things. It's raining. Rain is no good for a watercolor painting. Right now my painting is covered, but if the rain continues, I'll probably have to pack up and head back to the cabin. Bummer. I only have one more day here. So the rain has ended now, at least temporarily. I think it's gonna move in and out all day long, so in fact I'm pretty sure I just felt a sprinkle again. So I'm gonna try to wrap this painting up. It's a lot easier to start out here, then take it home and look at it with fresh eyes. I have the basics already. I just need to add some finer details with pen and maybe more watercolor washes. Well, it's 3:30 and the rain still hasn't come back, and I think I'm as far as I'm gonna take this one right now. And here's the finished piece with a few added details. Anyways, that's what I was working from. Love it up here. Not ready to go. So I didn't. I started another painting of the same view in my sketchbook. I really love working in these little travel-size sketchbooks. This one's about 5 by 5 inches, and I picked it up at Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance for like $5. It's not necessarily made for watercolor painting, but it still works pretty well with that medium. I usually do my initial sketching in a waterproof marker. I really like the micron pens that come in different sizes. I'll start with the smallest size, and I use it kind of like a pencil. I never use pencil in my sketchbooks, so I don't erase either. But if I use a fine tip pen and then trace over some of the lines with a slightly thicker tip pen, then go over it with watercolor, I really like the illustrative effect that I get using that technique. So here's the finished sketch. I did do just a slight bit of gouache with this sketch, but it's mostly watercolor and pen. Earlier in the week, I spent some time painting at the SUNY farm. I was inspired by the old farm equipment, the log cabin, and barn. But I really like this view just looking down the road. I started this painting in watercolor, then went back into it with gouache. Working with this easel is kind of new for me. Usually when I'm doing a watercolor painting, I like to leave my paintings lying flat. So this proved to be a bit of a challenge, but once I started adding gouache to the painting, it made it more like an oil painting, and it was a little bit easier to control the medium that way. The park was really quiet during the week, but some friends from Texas stopped by to say hello. They were passing through and stopped for a quick visit, and they liked the park so much they said they might come back next year. Safe travels, friends! I'm filling in my trees with different shades of green gouache and then adding shadows in blue. Like many of my plein air paintings, I'll finish this one back in the studio. It's about to rain, so I'm packing up. Most of the time the sun was shining, and I really enjoyed my time at Fort Ransom. I painted from my van at the scenic Valley View overlook. Here's the completed painting from that location. I also got to teach a class about watercolor techniques and travel sketching. At the end of the residency, we had an art show featuring 7 pieces that I completed during my week at Fort Ransom. The artist is required to donate a painting at the conclusion of the residency, so I asked 2 of the park rangers if they had a favorite piece. Both of them liked this painting of the barn at the SUNY farm that I jokingly titled By the Manure Pile, because that's apparently where I was sitting when I was painting it, unbeknownst to me, until the park manager came over and asked me why I was painting there. Unfortunately, my time as artist in residence at Fort Ransom State Park has come to a close, but I know I'll be back here again. There are a million places that I could paint, and I feel like I was just beginning to find the best sketching spots and hiking trails. I'd like to thank the North Dakota Council on the Arts for sponsoring such incredible opportunities for artists like myself. I'd also like to thank the staff at the Fort Ransom State Park for the fabulous accommodations and for sharing your knowledge of the park with me. I can't wait to return to Fort Ransom for more sketching in nature, but now I'm on the road to California, and I'll be posting new videos from new sketching spots as I go along. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel so you can see what I'm up to. Cheers!